Humiliating. That was the most humiliating moment of my life. Frustrating. This is so frustrating. I can't even explain it. Encouraging. Thanks for the encouraging words. I really needed that. Devastating. The news was absolutely devastating for the whole family. Exhausting. Dealing with him is just exhausting. Overwhelming. Everything feels so overwhelming right now. Reassuring. It's reassuring to know you're on my side. Unsettling. Something about his smile was really unsettling. Infuriating. It's infuriating how nobody listens to me. Heartbreaking. Her story was absolutely heartbreaking. Suffocating. This relationship is starting to feel suffocating. Relentless. She's been relentless in her pursuit of the truth. Exhilarating. The whole experience was exhilarating. Draining. This job is emotionally draining. Gut-wrenching. Watching that scene was gut-wrenching. Petty. Don't be so petty about it. Spiteful. That was a really spiteful thing to say. Condescending. Stop being so condescending toward me. Patronizing. I don't need your patronizing advice. Manipulative. He's always been manipulative like that. Delusional. You're being delusional if you think that's true. Reckless. That was a reckless decision to make. Impulsive. She's always so impulsive with her choices. Calculating. He's a lot more calculating than he looks. Cunning. That was a cunning move on her part. Ruthless. He's ruthless when it comes to business. Vindictive. Don't be so vindictive about this. Paranoid. I'm not paranoid. I just don't trust him. Desperate. I'm getting desperate here. Help me out. Vulnerable. I felt so vulnerable telling you that. Fragile. She's more fragile than she lets on. Resilient. You've always been resilient through everything. Relatable. Honestly, your story is so relatable. Genuine. He seems like a genuine guy. Sincere. I want to give you a sincere apology. Shallow. Don't be so shallow about this. Superficial. Their relationship always felt superficial to me. Hypocritical. That's a pretty hypocritical thing to say. Arrogant. He's way too arrogant for his own good. Entitled. She acts like she's entitled to everything. Insecure. I've always been insecure about that. Clingy. He's getting a little too clingy lately. Distant. You've been so distant lately. Withdrawn. She's been withdrawn ever since the accident. Reserved. He's pretty reserved when you first meet him. Awkward. This is getting really awkward. Cringeworthy. That speech was honestly cringeworthy. Mortifying. It was mortifying. I wanted to disappear. Embarrassing. This is so embarrassing I can't look at you. Unnerving. There was something unnerving about the whole thing. Chilling. It's a chilling story, honestly. Eerie. The house felt eerie at night. Haunting. That image is still haunting me. Gripping. It's a gripping story from start to finish. Compelling. You make a compelling argument. Captivating. Her performance was absolutely captivating. Riveting. The trial has been riveting to watch. Underwhelming. Honestly, the whole thing was underwhelming. Predictable. That ending was so predictable. Far-fetched. That theory sounds a little far-fetched. Plausible. That actually sounds pretty plausible. Convincing. That's not a very convincing excuse. Suspicious. Something about this feels suspicious. Shady. That whole deal sounds shady to me. Sketchy. This place looks kind of sketchy. Toxic. That relationship was completely toxic. Abusive. Nobody should stay in an abusive relationship. Controlling. He's way too controlling for me. Possessive. She gets really possessive sometimes. Jealous. Are you jealous of her? Bitter. Don't be bitter about the past. Resentful. I felt resentful for a long time after that. Guilty. I feel so guilty about what happened. Ashamed. I'm ashamed of how I acted. Remorseful. He seemed genuinely remorseful about it. Defensive. Why are you getting so defensive? Dismissive. He was pretty dismissive of my idea. Indifferent. She seemed completely indifferent to the news. Apathetic. I've just been feeling apathetic about everything. Numb. I felt completely numb after hearing that. Broken. I felt broken after everything that happened. Wrecked. I'm emotionally wrecked right now. Shattered. She was shattered when she heard the news. Relieved. I'm just relieved it's finally over. Content. I'm actually pretty content with my life right now. Fulfilling. This job has been really fulfilling. Rewarding. It's a rewarding feeling to help people. Empowering. That experience was really empowering for me. Inspiring. Your story is genuinely inspiring. Uplifting. That was such an uplifting speech. Comforting. It's comforting just to hear your voice. Soothing. Her voice was so soothing. Intense. That was an intense conversation. Dramatic. Don't be so dramatic about it. Explosive. Things got pretty explosive at dinner. Volatile. Their relationship has always been volatile. Unpredictable. He's always been unpredictable like that. Messy. This whole situation is really messy. Complicated. It's complicated. I don't want to get into it. Bittersweet. Graduation day was bittersweet for everyone. Bittersweet. Leaving this city is going to be bittersweet for me. Manipulative. I finally realized how manipulative he'd been the whole time. Reserved. My new coworker seems pretty reserved so far. Infuriating. It's infuriating that they still haven't fixed this. Soothing. Just listening to the rain is soothing. Petty. I know it's petty, but I can't let it go. Suspicious. He's been acting really suspicious lately. Gripping. I couldn't put the book down. It's that gripping. Devastating. Losing the house was devastating for the kids. Encouraging. Her feedback on my project was really encouraging. Toxic. I finally walked away from that toxic friendship. Impulsive. Buying that car was such an impulsive move. Haunting. His words are still haunting me weeks later. Reassuring. Just having you here is reassuring. Condescending. He talks to junior staff in such a condescending way. Vulnerable. Opening up like that made me feel vulnerable. Exhausting. Arguing with him is absolutely exhausting. Hypocritical. Isn't it a bit hypocritical to say that now? Captivating. The whole audience was captivating watching her dance. Resentful. I don't want to sound resentful, but it still hurts. Overwhelming. The support from everyone has been overwhelming. Sketchy. That guy at the door looked pretty sketchy. Ashamed. I was ashamed I didn't stand up for her. Relentless. The rumors have been relentless since the story broke. Genuine. It's rare to meet someone this genuine. Underwhelming. Honestly, the finale felt underwhelming. Cunning. That was a cunning way to get out of trouble. Distant. You felt so distant these past few weeks. Paranoid. Ever since the break-in, she's been paranoid. Heartbreaking. Seeing him say goodbye was heartbreaking. Clingy. I don't mean to be clingy, I just miss you. Numb. After the funeral, I just felt numb. Arrogant. He walked in acting like he owned the place. So arrogant. Entitled. She thinks she's entitled to the promotion already. Shallow. I used to think he was shallow, but I was wrong. Plausible. That's actually a pretty plausible explanation. Vindictive. She got kind of vindictive after the breakup. Exhilarating. Skydiving for the first time was exhilarating. Fragile. He looked so fragile after the surgery. Resilient. The whole team's been resilient through this mess. Chilling. There was a chilling silence in the room. Unnerving. The way he stared at me was unnerving. Dismissive. My boss was pretty dismissive when I raised it. Apathetic. I've noticed you seem apathetic about your classes. Controlling. Looking back, he was way too controlling. Possessive. He gets possessive whenever I hang out with my friends. Jealous. I won't lie, I was a little jealous of them. Bitter. Don't let this make you bitter. Guilty. I still feel guilty about how I left things. Remorseful. He didn't even seem remorseful when he apologized. Defensive. There's no need to get so defensive about it. Indifferent. She just shrugged. Totally indifferent to the outcome. Reckless. Driving that fast was reckless. Calculating. Turns out she's far more calculating than she seems. Ruthless. He's ruthless when it comes to negotiating. Delusional. You'd have to be delusional to think that plan works. Desperate. I was desperate for good news at that point. Awkward. Running into my ex at the wedding was so awkward. Cringeworthy. That toast he gave was honestly cringeworthy. Mortifying. Tripping in front of everyone was mortifying. Embarrassing. It's embarrassing. But I actually cried during the movie. Eerie. The whole neighborhood felt eerie after dark. Riveting. The trial testimony was riveting. Compelling. She made such a compelling case for the change. Convincing. His apology didn't sound very convincing. Far-fetched. That excuse sounds a little far-fetched. Predictable. I knew the ending. It was way too predictable. Shady. Something about that deal felt shady to me. Abusive. She finally left the abusive relationship. Suffocating. Living with my parents again feels suffocating. Draining. This whole week has been so draining. Gut-wrenching. The final scene of the movie was gut-wrenching. Spiteful. That comment felt kind of spiteful. Insecure. I used to be really insecure about my accent. Withdrawn. He's been so withdrawn since the layoffs. Relatable. Your post about burnout was so relatable. Sincere. Thank you for such a sincere apology. Broken. After the divorce, I just felt broken. Wrecked. I was completely wrecked after the flight. Shattered. She was shattered when the deal fell through. Relieved. I was so relieved when the test results came back. Content. For once, I actually feel content with where I am. Fulfilling. Volunteering there has been so fulfilling. Rewarding. Teaching them to read was incredibly rewarding. Empowering. Taking that class was empowering for me. Inspiring. Meeting her was genuinely inspiring. Uplifting. We could really use an uplifting story right now. Intense. That workout was way more intense than I expected. Dramatic. Let's not make this more dramatic than it needs to be. Explosive. The press conference turned explosive pretty fast. Volatile. The market's been really volatile this month. Unpredictable. Weather here is completely unpredictable. Messy. My whole apartment is a messy right now. Complicated. Things between us got complicated fast. Humiliating. Getting called out in front of the class was humiliating. Frustrating. It's frustrating when nobody replies to my emails.